Insight. The first ever series to analyze the unexplored aspects and issues of Carnatic music. Ganapatiye Karunanideye Enne Kadai Kan Paatharule Shri Mahaganapatiye 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 துணையடி தொழும்பல்வர் துயர் துடைக்கும் துய துணையடி தொழும்பல்வர் துயர் துடைக்கும் துய சுந்தர சரணரவில் துதி கையா சுந்தர சரணரவில் துதி கையா சுந்தர சரணரவில் துதி கையா கணபதியே கருணாநிதியே என்னை கடைகள் பார்த்தருளே ஸ்ரீ மகாகணபதி சகல சுராசுரர் பணிமலர்பதனே சகல சுராசுரர் பணிமலர்பதனே சங்கரலுமயோ மனமகிழ் சுதனே ஜகமுழுதும் நீரை அனை புகவனே ஜகமுழுதும் நீரை அனை புகவனே தாழ்பணிந்தேன் தல்ஜோனியே பகவானே தாழ்பணிந்தேன் தல்ஜோனியே பகவானே தாழ்பணிந்தேன் தல்ஜோனியே பகவானே கணபதியே கருணாநிதியே என்னை கடைகள் பார்த்தருளே ஸ்ரீ மகாகணபதி Welcome to the second episode of our Insight series. In the first episode, we discussed about the general aspects of music. We also talked about some of the categories. We made a mention about it, and also about the rasikas of Carnatic music and their types. Today, as an extension of this same topic, we will delve a bit more deeper into the different categories of music in terms of their characteristics to understand what are the features of each of these kinds of music, and compared to this, what is our art music or classical music that we are talking about. I would also like to touch upon some more aspects about music, in the sense that music is one of the rare fine arts which is created by the genius of man. Why am I saying this? Yesterday we talked about painting and drawing. So similarly, we'll come back to the same context here. If we are going to draw or paint a picture, we immediately draw inspiration for that from nature. For example, if you're going to draw a scenery with probably some trees, a beautiful mountain, some clouds in the sky, and then a boat sailing in the river and so on, we get all the inspiration we get all the references for this from nature. For example, if you're going to paint the tree, immediately for the trunk we would paint it as brown, the leaves as green, or if you're going to paint the sky, it will be in blue color. These are all things for which we have nature as a reference point. But as far as music is concerned, we see that what started off as a single note then evolved into 2 notes, 3 notes, then we derived 7 notes, the 12 further notes from that, and the 22 shrutis, and then from these we can see that there are innumerable more number of shades of notes and tones emerging from all this. So there is absolutely a vast scape of notes and tones available to us, and all this has been discovered and evolved over thousands of years. So what we see as music today, especially in Carnatic music, is a product which has been evolved over so many years by the contribution of so many great musicians and composers. Next is about music and society. Music is something which is so integral to our society, and we would see that every occasion, be it a happy occasion or be it a sad occasion or some other festivity that happens, music becomes an integral part of all these celebrations. For example, if you have a marriage function, we see that the Nadaswaram is very, very important element of it, in the sense that throughout the marriage the Nadaswaram has a very key role to play in terms of a musical ambience that is created, a happy mood that is created. If you take even a small birthday party in a house, you would see that we sing a song to celebrate the occasion. Why in villages you would see that even when somebody passes away, they sing the Opari. So that way we see that music is something which is very, very integral to our society, to our culture, to our very being. And thus music is something which marks every occasion from birth to death. Another aspect which is always a matter of debate is language and music. Some people say that music requires a language for communication. Some say that music is in itself a language. Let us explain this a bit more. When we are singing a particular composition, for example, if you take a composition like Sri Venkata Girisha Malokaye Vinayaka Turakarudam Sri Venkata Girisha Malokaye. This is in Sanskrit. If you are going to take a Telugu composition, Brova Bharama Raghurama Brova Bharama Raghurama Bhuvanamillani, and so on. You would see that in each of these cases, the language is very, very important, in the sense that the language happens to become a tool to communicate the music. But then what about other areas like Raga Alapana or a Kalpana Swaram that we are singing in a concert? There we see that the music itself becomes the language, in the sense that a raga is taken, and with the Arona, Avrona, and with the different phrases that are incorporated into it, we see that a beautiful, colorful musical pattern is woven for us. If you take, for example, an Alapana, let me show you the same Bahudari. So these two phrases did not have any meaningful words in it, but nevertheless it did communicate something in terms of the melody. So there is always a two-sided coin, I would say, where music by itself can be a language, and music where you see that the language happens to be a medium to communicate music. I will now be talking to you about the different kinds of music that we are able to see in this world. The first is about folk music. Then, as I told you, the other categories are devotional, popular, and art or classical music. Folk music is a very, very interesting genre which is very much on the other extreme of what we call as art or classical music, where we need intense training and practice to pursue that particular art form. Whereas in folk music, you see that it is a product of a musical tradition that has been basically evolved through oral transmission. So what do we mean here by that is that unlike classical music, where we have a very codified system of notation and other things, here we see that oral transmission is the main medium of communicating the music, which means that if there are some very old people in the house, they may be singing those songs regularly, and these songs are then imbibed by the next generation, and then it's transmitted from one generation to the other. So ultimately, the singing is the process of transmitting that particular melody or that particular song to somebody else. And also here you see very interestingly that the main content of folk music is the outpour of human emotion. This is very, very unique to folk music in the sense that when people are happy, they sing. When they are sad, they sing. When they are about to harvest in the field, they have a particular way of singing for that also. So when the child is born, for example, they sing a lullaby. And as I told you earlier, even when somebody passes away, they sing. So there are different ways in which the emotion is given vent to through the medium of music. And here we also see that simple tunes are used by them. Obviously, this is understood in the sense that people who sing folk music are not really trained in music. They do not learn music in the codified manner that we do in terms of classical music. But then everybody enjoys the process of singing. So we see that here simple tunes are incorporated. The rhythm is also very, very simple, because you would see that in folk music, there may be people who are 8-year-old children may be joining in the singing. There may be even 80-year-old women joining in the singing. So it's a very congregational kind of an approach towards music where everybody joins in that process. Let us now look at a small example to see how the melody is very simple in its structure and the rhythm is also quite simple and straight. Of course, I may not be able to sing the folk melody in a rustic way that a folk woman would sing it, but nevertheless let me make an attempt. அரனுமாகி ஹரியுமாகி அவர்களுக்கோர் சுதனுமாகி அவனி மீதில் வந்துதித்த மெய்யனே கொடியர் அசுரர் தம்மை வென்றொழித்த மெய்யனே சுவாமியே சரணம் என்று ஓசை பொங்கி எங்கும் கேக்கும் சபரிமலை தன்னில் வந்த பாலனே நல்ல தவமிருந்து வந்தவர் கனுகூலனே. What I want to focus here is that tananana 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 tanana. So that's how the melody goes, where you see that the notes which have been taken operate within a very, very minimal number of notes have been taken to create that melody, unlike a classical music composition where you would see that the composition may traverse over about 2 octaves or more even sometimes. Next, I would like to make a mention about devotional music. Now, what is it all about? It belongs to the temple culture, and the basic aim of devotional music is to reach God through the medium of music. So where the Bhakti Marga, the music becomes a Bhakti Marga, and for this we see that we have had very many saint composers who have been a part of our music, and they have sung many beautiful compositions on various deities and lords. Here also we see that congregational singing is very much a part of the musical process, in the sense that when somebody sings a Namavali or when somebody sings a Tevaram or a Tirupugal, irrespective of whether you know to sing or not, you immediately get into that spiritual mood and start singing along with the main performer. Let us look at one particular Tevaram to see how again here also the melody is very simple, the range is again very very limited, and the rhythm is also very simple here in this context. மந்திரமாவது நீரே வானவர் மேலது நீரே சுந்தரமாவது நீரே துதிக்கப்படுவது நீரே தந்திரமாவது நீரே சமயது உள்ள நீரே செந்துவர் வாழுமை பங்கள் திருகலவாயம் திருநீரு. Here you would see that again the range is so very very simple and limited. We'll also take another composition of Bhadrachala Ramdas to see how the melody flows in a composition of his. Ramabhadra Rara Shri Ramachandra Rara Tamarasa Lochana Sita Sameta Rara Ramabhadra Rara Shri Ramachandra Rara Tamarasa Lochana Sita Sameta Rara Ramabhadra Rara ಮುದು ಮುದುಗಾರ ಮೋಹನಗರಾರ ಅದ ಭುಜೆ ಕಿಳವಾಡ ನೀರಜಕ್ಷರ ರಾಮಭದ್ರ ಶ್ರೀ ರಾಮಚಂದ್ರ ತಮರಸಲೋಚನ ಸೀತಾ ಸಮೇತ ರಾಮಭದ್ರ Here, immaterial of whether the person who is listening to it or wants to sing along, whether he knows that it is Ananda Bharivi or not, it doesn't make really any much of a difference because he is able to understand the simplicity of the melody and sing along. That is what devotional music is all about. The next category is popular music, which is the music of the masses, and mass media influences its conception and propagation. Here the best example is of course the different kinds of film songs, and people would have observed how maybe probably over 50 years trends have changed, how the music itself has changed, and all this has come about because of the changing scenario in terms of the culture of the society and so on. Let us now come to classical music, which is going to be the subject of our discussion from now on. Yesterday also I made a mention about it that classical music is a perfect combination of aesthetics and grammar in musical presentation. And this is something very very unique to our music, in the sense that in devotional music, in folk music or popular music, people will not be really concerned, I would say, about the grammar aspect. For example, if a folk musician is singing a raga which is probably a Ananda Bhairavi scale, if he moves into some other notes which are not a part of the scale also, it doesn't really matter, and you can't really tell him that he has committed some mistake, because there, as I told you earlier also, it is more giving vent to the emotion that is more important here, and the grammar actually is not at all important. So that's why you see that in folk music we cannot really define any composition and say this is in this particular raga. It is just a melody or a tune that happens in folk music. Similarly, in devotional music also, you do not really look into whether the performer is singing with the perfect nuances, with the perfect gamakas and other things. There the spiritual flavor is what which is most important. And of course in film music there is nothing really, as at least in the present film music, you cannot really say after listening to a composition that oh, this is in Keeravani or this is in Shankarabharanam, because it is an amalgamation of so many notes, so many kinds of things are happening in it to create that particular melody. Now, in Carnatic music, I would say that the grammar is like a circle. That circle is very, very important for our Carnatic music or Hindustani music, any Indian classical music for that matter, where the circle is the limitations which are created by the grammar. Okay, now if there are going to be so many limitations, how do we explore the beauty of the particular system? Or how do we explore the aesthetics? And that is where our music stands tall, in the sense that though there is a circle, there are immense possibilities to explore within that circle, and that's what makes the music so beautiful. I would like to just quote an example here for you to understand this concept a bit more better. For example, if you go to participate in a running race competition, generally there is a target to be achieved. For example, 100 meters, 200 meters, 300 meters. So when you are starting to run, your aim is to achieve that goal. So that is very, very important. And once you have achieved that target, you feel a sense of satisfaction. But now, at the same time, without being given a target, if you are told to just keep running, you just run. If somebody tells you, how long can you keep running without any destination to reach? There is also no satisfaction actually in this kind of running, where you don't have any target to achieve at all. So that's what I'm trying to compare here, where there is a circle. That circle is the achieving the target, like that you have a circle here. But within that circle, you are able to create so many beautiful varieties, so many combinations. You're able to explore so much in it. And that's what makes the system very, very beautiful. In this particular episode, we discussed about the different categories of music, namely folk music, devotional, popular, and art music or classical music. We also saw the basic characteristics and salient features of each. We also looked into seeing how the melody, rhythm, and lyrics are incorporated in each of these systems of music. See you again in the next episode of our Insight series. Thank you.